Dip my shrimp.
Launch for two types of empanadas that are really traditional.
Hi, I'm Katie O'Reilly and welcome to Katie O's Food Carnival. This is my episode on Posh Bites. Have you ever had that friend who every time you see him or her, in this case it's a her for me, you're like, wow, everything about you is elegant. It's like 5-star. You walk, when I look at you, I envision you with a martini or a glass of champagne and caviar in your hands at all times. And here's me. I have had 4 kids, and at times I'd be just in my sweats with a baby on me, and I'd be like meeting up with her going, wow, you're extravagant and elegant always. Well, my next guest is definitely the embodiment of all of that, all things posh. Her name is Christine Drinan, and she's the CEO and founder of a company called Galavante. She's going to tell us all about the company, but one of the things I'm going to highlight is that I'm going to show you and demonstrate for you how to be posh for some of your friends if you need to be, in simple, easy ways. So my tips are going to be some that you're going to want to hold on to. It's an excellent, excellent adventure because Christine travels places that many of us currently in our lives now or may never have an opportunity to go travel, see, taste, drink, meet, all those fun things. She's over the top, and I just know you're gonna love her. So no matter what your situation is at home right now, you might, like I said, have that baby on you in your sweats, or you just cooked a big meal, or you've been running around all day at work, or whatever it may be. Relax, sit back, and live with Christine vicariously through her stories of her adventures. She's got a wonderful company, and she's going to tell us how she built it and what she's done to embody it and bring it to us today. So excited. This is going to be a great, great episode. Posh Bites, let's meet Christine. Welcome. Help me welcome Christine Drinan. It is so good to see you.
I cannot believe how long it's been.
I know.
You look amazing.
So do you. So do you. And of course, as always, Posh, you look beautiful, darling. You do. Now, I have given a little intro into what it is that you are doing right now, but it needs to come from you because it is such an amazing and fabulous journey that you're on with this company. Every woman wishes they could be you right now, so you have to share with us, what is your life like right now?
Well, I am the founder and the CEO of Galavant, which is a luxury travel company, and we do everything from have a media business with an online magazine, as well as short films where I get to interview chefs and really interesting people all around the world. And then we also have a full-service travel concierge and an incredible community of travelers who share their recommendations.
Okay, so I'm just going to say, on social media, if I'm flipping through, I see you, and it's like, you're like on the Mediterranean in an amazing bathing suit with some celebrity eating some gorgeous food and drinking something very decadent. How much traveling do you do? Like, what is your life like? Walk us through kind of a little week in the life of Christine.
Well, I started the business almost 6 years ago.
Okay.
And when I started the business, I did not have any background in travel, except for the fact that I was passionate about traveling.
And food. And I mean, you've always had that deep inner passion and understanding and appreciation for the nice things in life.
Well, I certainly learned a lot of that from you because when we were growing up, you were just the aficionado on food. And so you influenced how I view food and also really learned to appreciate it throughout my career. And when I started the company about almost 6 years ago, I was traveling a lot. We didn't have any content for our media business or anything for our online magazine, and so I had to build my repertoire. And I started out having visited over 20 countries.
Wow.
But today I visited over 75 countries.
Unbelievable. How cool. How cool.
It is school, but I still have over 110 countries that I am interested in going to. So I have
The
plenty
list, you've
of
got like the
coverage.
scroll, the map on the wall going, this is where I go next.
Exactly.
That's so cool. No, you're not going roughing it in these countries though. I gotta be honest, this is a 5-star travel experience. So many of us will never honestly experience this, but tell us, like, so you are staying in some of the luxe hotels and dining on some of the finest food that's prepared just for you. How did you manage that? I mean, the company has definitely shown an intense success.
Well, I have stayed in over 600 luxury hotels around the world, so I am a hotel person. And I am particular about the finer details, but to me the most paramount is service. Because you could have the most beautiful hotel in the world,
It's so true.
and unless the service is intact, it's not going to be a great experience. So first, I find myself very fortunate. I know that when I wake up every day for the past 5.5 years, how fortunate it is that I'm able to sometimes wake up in some of the most beautiful places around the world.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I'm kind of dreaming of you right now in my head, because many of us, you know, we have things that restrict us, and I think that every viewer at home has got to be sitting there going, how do I do that? Can I do that? Can I start that business? It's not that simple. I mean,
I wish it was.
yeah, I can only imagine. Now, right now, currently, you have no young children at home, keeping you grounded, so you're able to have the freedom in your schedule to actually pick up and take off.
And that's really what the key part of our success has been. So the outwardly face of our company is about travel, and it's about food, and it's about meeting interesting people around the world. But at the end of the day, I am running a business.
Yeah.
So I'm an entrepreneur. It's all about how we generate the right revenue, how we grow the business, how we scale the business. So there's the very glamorous side where I am traveling all over the place, which is really incredible, and I get to meet really interesting people. And then there's the part that's the realistic side, is that I'm running a business.
Okay, so I'm going to back it up a little bit. You know, I mean, you started your career, really, like your foot in the career path in finance. And I've got to say, you were probably, on, like, outward appearances, you've never been a girl that I would have been like, wow, you're a finance girl. But you are amazing, successful. But I see how that could roll into the glam and the posh, because you still have that finance. I mean, you were one of the most sought after finance positions that you had people seeking your expertise. So you were very successful in that. So that must help a ton in the realistic approach to having a business like this, because what you tap on is the realistic side, is that yes, there's all this glam out there and you get to travel and do all these fun things, but you have to be aware that there has to be a financial benefit to all of this. So okay, so I'm going to ask the ultimate question: is it as cool as it looks?
I am very grateful.
Yeah.
One of the things that I have really loved about, I've been in New York for over 15 years now, and I do love being from the Midwest, because I know that life is not all about 1,000 bread count sheets.
Yeah.
And it's not just about going to the most expensive places and the most lavish experiences. Really, when I go into travel, yes, on my Insta and on my Facebook, you'll see us in the most beautiful hotels in the world. But also, you'll see me in Rwanda volunteering at a rural public school. You'll see me farming with women and cultivating the fields, who are women weavers who are supporting their families on their craft. And so for me, it's just about the whole picture of experience, and that really is what luxury is. It's about the luxury of experience, and that's different for every person, and we customize for everyone who is part of the event.
That's so cool. I love the full picture of it, you know. Just, that's life.
That is.
That is life.
That is.
All right, well, I'm going to take you back to the posh, because we're going to go to tasting time, which is our favorite, and I've designed some posh bites that, if I had to say, what would I serve Christine if she was coming over? These are two of those beautiful items. So let's go and have some bites.
We all have those friends, and just like we saw out of Christina, sometimes that guest that in our minds we create to have these extreme palates. And elegance and posh are all we can think of. And there's often times where when we think of having them over to our home or at a party that we're hosting, we just can't even imagine what to serve this person. Well, here I am with your Posh Bites. These are your tips on good to great. So what I've got before you is definitely in the upper echelon. It's a more expensive item, but I'm going to tell you some tips on how to make it, and then also how to cut your costs potentially if you want to. So this here is a New England 2-bite lobster roll. Beautiful. These are so gorgeous. You can either pass them at a party, have them on a buffet. They're small enough. Quite honestly, they're a few more than 2 bites. I'm going to say they're more like a 4-bite, but 2 bites sounds cute. You can cut them in half if you want to, but they hold together most beautifully in this form. Now the roll itself is just Hawaiian bread. So get your loaf of Hawaiian bread, cut it into the sections that it shows. Cut it from the top. That's one of the keys to making it look like a lobster roll. Put your insert at the top. Then once you have your roll, put it in your skillet on a medium high and just toast the sides in a little butter. That's going to give you your beautiful lobster roll effect. Okay, so you're going to get that. Now once that's complete, set those aside. They don't have to be hot, so you can do those in advance. When you get your lobster, what I suggest is if you have access, if you're on a coast somewhere and you have access to live lobsters, do that. Get that first because you want the claw meat, you want all the lobster. You want to cook it down. You can use the stock for something else if you want. That's your best bet. Let's say you're nowhere near, like in the Midwest, like we are. Sometimes buying lobster tails works. That's the most affordable. Either way, you get your lobster meat, you chunk it up, mix it. Ideally, there's a lot of recipes out there. Ideally, you're going to get a simple mayonnaise, salt, pepper, maybe a little lemon, but most do not vary from that. Now let's just go a little further. If you happen to be a little bit tighter on budget, one of the secrets I suggest is take that lobster meat and mix it a little bit with some shrimp diced up, some good quality shrimp, maybe some sea scallops diced up in the small. It'll give you a little bit of bulk, still maintaining that seafood texture, that shellfish texture, and then put your lobster meat a little bit on top. The garnish here that is essential to pull it together for a lobster roll is your celery, and I say use the young little leaves in the center. Now, fortunately for me, I'm going to take a bite. So I hope you're going to take a bite with me in your mind because this is amazing. Pick it up, it holds together. I'm very garnished on the plates. You can use any kind of greens, edible flowers, whatever you put on your plate, make sure it can be eaten because you never know that guest who takes it and goes, oh, can I eat this? Yes, wants to be your response. So here you are, beautiful, holds together. Look at that, the claw, so amazing. I can't wait. Enjoy. I am in New England right now. I swear. If I was in competition, I would be loving it, but yet I'm all dressed up at a party. How posh. Are you getting my groove here? Great. Wait until you see my next one. I've got another one for you. Let's go to that right away. I'm going to take another bite. Okay, so for our second Posh Bite, I am going to introduce you to something that looks so beautiful. A martini glass screams posh. This is a Venetian cicchetti, which is like an Italian tapas type bite. It is bay scallops, so the smaller scallops, and they're slightly fried. So they are a little lightly breaded and lightly flash fried. So they're crisp and they're beautiful and they're rich and they're fresh. That's my comfort. Underneath that, I do a raw Brussels slaw. So I take the Brussels sprouts and I julienne them and I mix them with a little olive oil and lemon and a little sea salt. It is crunch and its freshness that is going to take away the heaviness that goes into the fried scallops. On top, what looks like whipped cream is actually a lemon whip emulsion. What you do is you take a little heavy cream, mix it with your lemon. It turns savory like a whipped cream. It's amazing. And the black scattered on top is so beautiful. That is volcanic sea salt. So it's Hawaiian volcanic sea salt. Salts come in so many different colors, so feel free to explore online what kind of sea salts you can get, different grinds, some are shaved. Have some fun with your salt. But the nice thing is that when it's on top, it reaches your palate, so you don't have to infuse your salt in throughout your dish as much, because some people have a salt palate that's a little bit more sensitive. So this is a perfect bite. Now you're gonna see me actually take a bite because I love this and I'm going to eat this. So as much as it looks like dessert, once again, I highlight the martini glass. So fun at a party, you're hanging out, you feel posh, you really do. This is fabulous. Crispy, warm, so fresh. I'm gonna get a little of that slaw. I'm gonna show you the slaw because you can see how it's julienned and fresh and crisp. Just a little olive oil and lemon, and it is so fresh for your palate. This is fabulous. I hope you really enjoy Posh Bites, because I have a couple of friends at Tasting Time that are definitely going to be enjoying our Posh Bites. So you guys, welcome.
Yeah.
This is Posh Bites. That's the name of the episode, and I designed specifically with Christine in mind, what would I serve my elegant posh friend if she was coming over to my house? A New England lobster roll. This is a 2-bite. Honestly, it's probably gonna be more like 4 bites, but we call it a 2-bite because it's cute and it's friendly. And this is just loaded with lobster. This is so fun. I did pair it with some French fries. Always a cute thing to serve them in a little shot glass, so cute. But this is so fun because it picks up, you can serve it to your guests, and look, it's just that little simple, doesn't it look awesome? What do you guys think?
I feel like I'm on the coast.
All right, well, I hope that's the expression you have when you taste it. So let's all take a little bite in and we'll talk.
It looks amazing.
That's great.
Incredible. Katie, you know your food.
I feel like I'm on the coast of Maine. Like
Yeah.
I said, this is amazing.
Thank you. And the cute, small, like dealable handling of that is so perfect for guests, because nobody wants to eat like a huge sandwich at a party, but they will definitely take this. And there's a couple little tricks I'm just going to kind of tie you in on. Let's just say you don't have the budget to serve everybody a huge amount of lobster at a party. What you want to do is take lobster and do your traditional lobster salad separate. But then underneath you can take sea scallops and chop them up, and a little shrimp if you have a favorite shrimp. Make a salad out of that separately, put it at the base, and load the lobster just on top. And honestly, your palate will be so filled with lobster on top that you're not really going to notice the difference. But cost-wise, it's huge if you're entertaining people in your home and you have to kind of produce for more than, let's say, 20 people or something. Lobsters can get very expensive, especially in the Midwest. So you want to put your lobster on top. The celery garnish, I got to be honest, it is the signature of a lobster roll. And then these little rolls are actually just Hawaiian bread. So if you cut them and saute them, you can do them in advance, just in a little butter in a pan. The cut on top is always the signature. You don't want to do a side cut. And then fries. Who doesn't love fries? That was just a little added.
Well, especially you have ketchup at the bottom. So this is all presentation. And every bite is going to have the perfect amount of ketchup.
Going back to your point about the lobster roll, though, I love the idea that, now I'm guessing this one was created without lobster, but that you can create one with other seafoods, yet still get the Posh Bite experience and serve a crowd if you needed to with something elegant. That's wonderful.
There are some tips and secrets that really, it would take a really extreme palate to realize that that wasn't all lobster in there, because the bites are, your senses and your smell is picking up the lobster, and your visuals are picking up the lobster. So you don't have to go bragging to all your friends that it's not all lobster. They probably won't actually know, quite honestly. Yeah.
Do I have to go out and get the live lobster, or do I have to go out?
Oh, okay, there's a couple of different ways. If you get the live lobster, you're going to get the claws. Otherwise, you're going to go and buy like tails, which is perfect for the salad, but you're not going to get the effect. Depends on how posh. How posh do you want to elevate yourself? But it is the claws, usually the claw meat, or, you know, elements of the red that come in that you're going to want to show, because it's in the visual that tells people that it's a lobster roll.
Until they see the lobster, they taste the lobster.
They do.
Experiences lobster. So I'm not inclined to eat this flour yet. You're saying that
They are
it's-
edible.
Oh,
I like anything on the plate to be edible because I have a lot of guests that are going to stick whatever's served in front of them into their mouth. So it's either got to be, I mean, it's fabulous and I like it, but I mean, greens, microgreens, anything, it's got to be edible.
so I guess what you're saying is I could probably just use some hemlock in all my...
Yes.
Right.
Anything
It would be
poisonous. I think you should get all of that out of your
Right.
house anyway with children under the age of 5.
No longer a good option for animals.
Right. Anything with
Why not
prickly
open your house?
thorns should probably be taken off the menu.
Well, it makes it really work to get after that great food. I have to dig through it.
Right. So we're going to have another one coming, so feel free to enjoy. Okay, and here we are, our second Posh Bite. Everything in a martini glass looks super posh and decadent, and this is one of my favorites, so I had to design this for you. First of all, it looks like it's a dessert, so it's got that decadent feel before you even start, but it's actually savory, which is really cool. These are lightly sauteed baby scallops, so they're your baby scallops, which are fantastic, and it's over a Brussels slaw. So the Brussels sprouts are then julienned and made into a salad with olive oil and lemon. Super fun and fresh. A little sriracha creme. The lemon whip emulsion that's what looks like whipped cream. And then there's volcanic Hawaiian sea salt on top. So this is so fun. And for right now we have it on a base plate, but if you're just having friends at a party, look at how cute this is. That is
love
posh.
Serving out of martini glasses. This is one of the coolest dishes I've seen in a long time, Katie. You are an artist.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's enjoy, everybody. I want to get your impression because it's one of my faves.
So I could finally use all those martini glasses I got at my wedding.
Exactly.
I've got like 20, 30 of them. This is the perfect thing to do.
Exactly. And then you can have those friends who kind of two-fist if they have their martini in one hand and then their bite in the other. It's a good one.
That is spectacular.
Thank you. Thank you.
Such a cool creation, and like the flavor profile on it is so different than anything I've really had.
What a way to deliver the lemon to the seafood.
Yes.
It's so perfect.
So the Brussels slaw brings out a freshness with the scallops. It's so delightful. And I always say people who think they don't like Brussels sprouts should try them this way because they're totally different than anything you've ever had before. But they hold up. So if you have to do it in advance, they do hold up a little bit more because of the firmness of the Brussels sprout versus like a lettuce.
Right.
And the lemon and the olive oil make it so fresh.
Yeah.
Well, and you don't think about bay scallops too often because you can get one big scallop.
The sea scallops, right?
Yeah, and you have to sit down, you're eating it, trying to eat it. But here, you can just kind of pick
Little
up
beauties.
the wood, it smells perfect.
Yeah.
I like bay scallops. I think they're sometimes sweeter than the sea scallops.
I think you're right.
I do too. So, you must have questions for Christine. She travels all over the world doing amazing things.
What's the absolute best hotel stay experience you've had?
Well, that's a big question.
That is a big question, John. It's almost like asking me who my favorite child is because
Yeah.
there's so many amazing places to stay around the world. And I was telling Katie that I actually stopped counting how many luxury hotels I've stayed at about 3 years ago when I hit over 600. I sent very good friends to Sicily last year to stay at this hotel, and Richard Gere was staying there at the time because all of the celebrities were part of the film festival. And what's really cool is I saw an opera there. I saw Rigoletto when I was there. And they ushered me through this secret passageway that's been around for thousands of years. I went out and ducked into had the huge Colosseum in front of me as I emerged from this tunnel from the hotel next door. And I took my seat, and in the background I could see Mount Etna erupting. The sun was setting, and Rigoletto was on stage, and I think it was one of the most vibrant memories I've had in my life. And so, was it the most expensive place I've stayed? No. But it was really, to me, it was one of the most special places. And I think Sicily in general is an amazing value. So while it is luxury travel, value-wise, it's a great place, and your dollar goes a very long way, especially now with the European exchange rate being what it is. And then the second place I just went to this summer, so I do want to talk about it because I'm so excited about finding this hotel. I went to Greece for the first time.
Oh, I want to go to Greece.
We are going to make that happen, Katie.
Yes.
We are seriously doing a group trip to Greece sometime.
Yes.
Because I went there for my first time. It was my 75th country that I'd been to. And I went to Greece and I could see why. I cannot believe I waited 75 countries to go to Greece. And I went to this incredible hotel called the Aman Zoe, which is part of the Aman Resorts. And Aman Resorts just puts together architecturally the most exquisite hotels around the world. And this, to me, has to be architecturally the most beautiful place I've ever stayed. Greece is amazing in May. Greece is amazing in June, and it's primed end of September, October. There are less crowds, and that's a good time to go.
Well, actually, I got to ask a question for you. So you asked about hotels. I'm more curious about most exotic trips.
Oh.
So something like...
What is the most exotic
Yeah,
trip?
where have you gone?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know about. Like hotels, absolutely. But like, where have you gone? What's the...
Well, once again, I have two. It's really hard for me to choose among these trips because there's so many beautiful places. But first, I went to Rwanda last year for the first time.
Wow.
And I volunteered in a rural public school in Rwanda, and I spent several days with the kids there. And I did an art donation on behalf of this art foundation that I work with, the Christopher Foundation of the Arts, based out of Santa Fe. And I brought art supplies to the kids, and I brought notebooks and school supplies. The infrastructure in general in Africa is not nearly what it is in the rest of the world.
Right.
And there were over 1,200 children in this school that in U.S. standards would be a school for maybe 100.
Wow.
And so some of the classrooms had dirt floors, no ceilings, no electricity. They were lucky to get a donation from a family that is in the area there who's quite wealthy, and they put money into hotels and they're trying to bring tourism because the area I was in was actually for gorilla trekking. And I went gorilla trekking, which was an incredible experience, but I wanted to combine that experience with philanthropy. So Rwanda is not exactly the most mainstream place to go, but it also got me really excited about going back to Africa and doing more philanthropic work. So the second most exotic trip I took was this year. For 2016, I rang in the year by climbing Kilimanjaro.
Oh, yay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I summited all 19,341 feet.
Yay.
And I think I only did that because I went with this incredible company called Thompson Safaris. And when I was researching who I was going to climb with, I said, I'm not athletic. I am not at all that physically fit, and I'm scared of heights. Also, my other travel tip is if you are going to travel and you're doing something that's outside of your comfort level, you really have to be with people who know what they're doing. So I saw that they had worked with MTV on this big climb that they did for charity back in 2011. And so I said, if they summited Jessica Biel and the rest of the celebrities, this is a company I'm going to climb with. So I climbed with Thompson Safaris, and I have to say, I had designer shoes on, I had really fashionable clothes, and my friend Joe said to me, if there's one of us who's not going to make it up that mountain, it's going to be her. And what he did not know, because he did not know me very well, is that it's also a lot about mental toughness. So the guides at Thompson Safari were able to safely get me up. So physically and like food-wise and health-wise, I was very well taken care of. But mentally, it really takes a lot to be able to climb. I camped for the first time in my life on Kilimanjaro for 8 nights. And
Was it glamping or camping?
oh, it was camping. There was not one.
I had to ask. Yeah.
I mean, this was the roughest conditions and the most challenging conditions. I mean, granted, it's not like I summited Everest, but I did have to go through some very treacherous conditions. I climbed a 900-foot wall, free climbed,
Wow.
straight up. And like there were parts of it where you had to face inward towards the mountain because the back was a sheer 900-foot drop behind you. And this was my year to summit a mountain.
Good for you.
And I felt in my head that I was strong enough to do it, but I wanted to prove to myself I was strong enough to do it.
All right, so this has been fabulous. What an interesting journey. It's just wonderful to have you here, Christine. Cheers to Christine. Yay.
Cheers to you
Wonderful.
guys.
Have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining for Posh Bites, and we will see you soon.